this is overall a view of human reproductive system and both males and females. And first we will see the reproductive organs of female reproductive system. So this is just for understanding the overall review. And as we know, our female reproductive system is included with the ovaries, fallopian tube, uterus, cervix, and vagina. So today we will understand about these particular organs included in our female reproductive systems, how they function and how they work. So anatomically, like how they work, what all their role, particular, like maybe ovary, maybe fallopian tube, maybe uterus, what are their main role and how they function in our female reproductive system. Like ovaries, as we are seeing here in picture. So to make you understand easily, I added a picture in like beside. This is nothing but a ovary. What work the ovary does is produces eggs and hormones, both. That is hormones, which hormones? Estrogen and progesterone hormones. And fallopian tubes, these which connects the uterus and ovary are nothing but the fallopian tubes. What they work, like how they work, transport eggs from ovaries to the uterus. Whatever the ovary releases the eggs at the time of ovulation, that egg will be transferred in this fallopian tube and it will reach the uterus. And obviously uterus is house of the fetus during pregnancy. This whole part is a uterus one. And cervix connects the uterus to the vagina, where like the nothing but the canal to pass the baby from uterus to vagina. Site for sexual intercourse, where the sperm moves from the vagina and enters our body. So overall functioning of particular organs in reproductive system, we got to know what is this ovaries, what they do, and what fallopians do, and what uterus do, and what is cervix, and what is vagina. Now we will see whole functions of this reproductive system. Actually, these hormones which I mentioned, estrogen and progesterone, these are the main hormones which helps in fertilization of a egg and further in a pregnancy. This much like brief knowledge we all have, right? Understand what is whole functioning in fertilization of egg and although like all menstruation and how egg will be passed and how it will be fertilized. Now coming to a whole functioning, as I mentioned, these are ovaries, right? They will produce or they will egg will be produced. What ovum? In a medical term, what we say ovum. Ovum is nothing but a egg. During ovulation, it will be released. That will be formed or produced in a ovary. This ovary will produce eggs, but how it functions? Like in ovary, though the eggs are produced, like we know, we have 4 forms of phases in menstruation, right? In further, I'll explain that. That in follicular period, when follicular formation starts, the FSH hormone, that is follicular stimulating hormone, will stimulate the follicles to get get produced, and after producing the eggs in a form, with that the estrogen hormone will be excreted or increased. So with that estrogen and FSH production and functioning, the egg will be released from the ovary and it will pass the fallopian tube. In follicular period, the egg will be formed, the follicular get matured and egg will be formed in an ovary. During next phase, ovulation phase, the egg will be either any one ovary. Every month we will get only one egg released. Either it may be left or it may be right. If we have both the ovulation, like ovulation in both in rare cases. At that time, we may have twin pregnancies. That is the reason for twin pregnancies. But usually, we will release only one egg in a month, either any one of the from any one of the ovaries. So when egg get released, it will pass in a fallopian tube, and it will be for only few days, 1 to 2 days. Whereas at this period, like after ovulation with estrogen hormone, uh, if at this period, like ovulation period, within after ovulation within 1 or 2 days, if we have an intimacy and sperm entered our body, this sperm will reach, millions of sperms will be released from male to our body, but only any one sperm which is very healthy and which have very motility rate, it will reach fallopian tube and it will reach egg, and egg will be combined with the sperm, that is ovum will be combined with the sperm. Then the multiplication of cells takes place further, and it will takes place implantation in a uterus, where I am showing now. This is if we have a intimacy in a particular ovulation period, and if we had a fertilization, then this process will take place and baby will grow in a uterus. But at the same way, as here maturation of eggs takes place, and the estrogen level will increase, and the process will be starting. At the same time, in luteal phase, progesterone level will be increased through LH, that is luteal hormone. What it do? It will increase the progesterone level, and by progesterone hormones, the bed will be formed on layer of the uterus, inside the layer of the uterus. That is nothing but endometrium thickness. Usually, like few women who have already delivered or who have studied about the pregnancy and our menstruation cycle, they will be knowing endometrium thickness. We need particular endometrium thickness to have healthy pregnancy or healthy implantation, right? That bed will be formed here by progesterone hormone increasing. If we had a intimacy, and if we get a pregnant, then that whichever the embryo and ovum and sperms combination took place, and zygote formed, it will be by multiplying the cells, it will reach the uterus, and it will take place the implantation on the layer of the uterus, and it will this same thickness of the endometrium will be increasing to make a soft bed for the baby, and pregnancy will take place. If pregnancy is not there, like if the woman is a girl, like she is not married, or even married, she is not planning baby, then in such condition, after ovum released here, after 1 to 2 days, it will move down, and it will be released in a uterus. If there is no formation of zygote, or if there is no fertilization, then this whatever bed was formed, the endometrium thickness was formed, it will be released, or it will get bleed as a menstruation cycle. So this is whole functioning of a reproductive system. Like if we have a menstruation, we will be having a four phases, that is follicular phase, ovulation, luteal phase, and menstruation period. So in menstruation period, it will bleed, and it will, as we know, 5 days we will bleed, and it again like it will go to follicular stage. This is whole process of the menstruation cycle. And in that ovulation period, if the ovum gets fertilized, it will be formation of fetus. That is, first zygote it will form, and when it takes place the implantation, as I mentioned in previous classes, from 9th month, it will be mentioned as, till 9 weeks, it will be mentioned as embryo, and after 9 weeks, it will be mentioned as a fetus, and further process of fetus formation we'll discuss in further classes. So till now, whatever I explained, whole cycle, that is the functioning of the whole system, reproductive system. Egg production, that is oogenesis. fertilization. After egg production, if there is a combination of sperm with it, then it will go to fertilization. Or if it is fertilization is not there, then it will go to menstruation cycle. If fertilization is there, then it will move to pregnancy and childbirth. These whole 4 points are overall functions of the female reproductive system. Hormones which all are included, as I mentioned in our cycles process: estrogen, progesterone, FSH and LH. Whereas estrogen is a main female hormone which is used in a puberty. Actually, in a fun activity, like I included in slide also, you all know or don't know, I don't know, but the ovums, whatever eggs are present in our ovary and which will get matured by the FSH hormone during luteal phase, follicular phase, and it will be released. These eggs, millions together, are present in our ovaries at the time of birth only. When a newborn baby girl is born, she is with the millions of eggs in her ovary. But can anyone say why it will not get ovulated at the time of birth only, and from birth only why we will not get menstruation every month? Can anyone? Okay, let me explain. Actually, when newborn girl is born, like newborn baby is a girl, she is with the millions of eggs in her ovary, but she will not be stimulated with the estrogen hormone. Her body is not accumulated with the estrogen hormone at the time of birth. At the time of menarche, when this all process takes place, as we know, we have many hormones in our body, right? But these all hormones have some receptors. Some, like according to our development or according to our changes of the body, these whatever hormones are there, those receptors will give signal to our brain. At that time particularly, that hormone will be released. So at the time of menarche, at the time of puberty, this whatever other hormones are there, glands are there, they will get stimulated and they will send message to our brain, and it will release estrogen hormone in our body at the time of menarche. After releasing or after functioning of estrogen hormone, when this estrogen hormone gets stimulated, get increased, the girl will start the ovulation. At that time, the egg will start to release, and at that time, the girl will start her menstruation cycle. So and even in puberty, what we said, from 12 to 16, some changes will start to happen, right? But nowadays, as we are seeing, the young girls are getting their menarche in 9 to 10 years only, right? Actually, according to our classics, the main puberty or pre-puberty starts from 12 years. From 12 years till 16 years, the girl can get menarche at any age. But nowadays, even little girls, like 8-9 years girls, they are getting menarche. In further classes, what is the reason and why they are getting menarche, and what precautions, home remedies we can take for that, we'll discuss. So that's the other, because if I explain here, it will go to other topics. So, and progesterone, as we know, later after ovulation, everything for maintenance of for pregnancy, because you all may be heard, especially in pregnancy, if your HCG level is low or if you are getting spottings, they will give progesterone tablets or progesterone injections, right? This progesterone hormone we need to maintain a fetus in a normal way, to maintain a pregnancy in a normal way. And as we saw, this FSH and LH are stimulating hormones and maturity hormones. They will mature the eggs or sperms and they will stimulate the cells. And menstruation cycle phases, as we know, 4. Menstruation cycle is one of them, and follicular phase, ovulation, and luteal phase. As I mentioned in last slide only, actually this menstruation cycle also is one of the step in our reproductive system only, right? So as we know, menstruation phase is shedding of the uterine lining, which I showed, and follicular phase is egg maturation. Like initially, only the follicles will be formed due to FSH hormone. They will get matured and the egg will be formed. After that, the ovulation will takes place. Egg releases through the fallopian tube and it will reach uterus. And luteal phase is preparing for possible pregnancy if there is intimacy. If there is no intimacy, then further it will go to further stage. Now we got to know what all organs are included in our reproductive system and how it is functioning, right? But we all know this reproductive system, even it have some particular diseases also, and nowadays these diseases are much more due to our lifestyle, due to our diet style, due to our activities maybe, or due to adulteration, everything. So what common diseases which are included in especially reproductive organs are polycystic ovarian syndrome, that is PCOS or PCOD. This is very common, especially in young girls nowadays. Endometriosis. This is like normally common in 10, 1 to 2 members are getting it. Uterine fibroids. Actually, this also will have a separate class. Particular diseases, what are the main causes and treatment. And uterine fibroids, obviously we know nowadays in 10 members, almost 6 to 7 members, they are having a uterine fibroids. Infections, this is quite common, like how we get UTI, even vaginal infections due to yeast infection or due to STI, that is sexually transmitted infections we will get. And infertility, obviously this infertility, the main cause is one thing, PCOD or PCOS, or the more use of systems due to rays which we get from system. The main functioning of the ovum or especially functioning of the sperms are hampered. Due to that, nowadays many couples are suffering with infertility. And okay, now we got to know some diseases which are common in reproductive system, but how we can maintain that? Obviously, especially in a time of menarche, and if after menarche the girl is having quite normal menstruation cycles every month without any complaints, or without the irregular cycles, or without passing the clots, then no need to go for regular gynecologist checkups till 40 years. After 40 years, again, we all know we will get hormonal imbalances due to pre-menopausal stage. At that time, especially you need to go for regular gynecologist checkups, because at that time our reproductive system will go through the many changes. Like it may be, as we saw the diseases, uterine fibroids or endometriosis, or in some cases, CA cases also we are getting now, right? Cervix cancer or uterine cancers, many breast cancers. Because of this reason, even government has approved that after 40 years, every woman should go for regular checkups of gynecological checkups, especially CA checkups, we need to go. And safe practices to avoid infections. Obviously, as we saw yeast infection or STIs, to avoid those infections, especially use particular safe precautions, maybe like many forms we have, right? It may be like ejaculating outside or using condom, something like precautionary steps you have to take. And simple thing, if you don't want to use anything, then simply after intimacy you can wash your genital parts. That's the best way to avoid infections. And healthy diet and lifestyle tips. Obviously, due to this last point only, we are facing many types of diseases nowadays, because in before days, like older generation people were not having any such diseases, right? Many, like rarely in 100 or 200 people, so one person were getting like infertility or something else. But rather than normal pregnancy, the infertility cases are more nowadays, right? As we see in gynecologist hospitals. Main is due to our diet and lifestyle. So fun facts, as I mentioned, the ovaries contain over 1 million eggs at birth only. But due to no estrogen hormone or pubertal hormones, the girl will not release or ovulate from the time of birth. When she gets menarche, when that estrogen level stimulates, at that time she will start to ovulate. And the another fun fact is the uterus can expand up to 500 times its normal size during pregnancy. So only we are able to bear 2.5 to 3.5 kgs baby with the placenta, with amniotic fluid, everything in our uterus, right? So till now, this was about the female reproductive system, how it works, and what are its functions, and what all precautionary tips we have to take briefly. And now we'll move to a male reproductive system, because as we are going through a pregnancy, how much the female reproductive system is necessary, the knowledge of male reproductive system also is necessary, right? It may be in planning of pregnancy, or if we are pregnant, we should know how it worked, what all it happened, or especially in infertility cases, if we, not only we, whoever present here, we can advise for our friends, relatives, even daughters, anyone, right? Like if they are suffering with family planning, like if they are planning and they are not getting conceived, if you have all this knowledge, you will be well and good, right? For simple things, for everything, uh, no need to go for doctors and spending lot of money for investigations, everything, right? If we have a brief knowledge about the reproductive systems, then we can manage with home remedies, or we can manage with simple thing, like non-medicos with low knowledge. Like if we are educated, at least we will see in YouTubes, or we will search in Google what the thing is, and we will get some sort of knowledge, right? But the village people, or who are not educated, how they will get the knowledge, like what had happened. Even they will not be knowing the calendar methods, like during ovulation, if they have an intimacy, then only they will get conceived. Even this simple knowledge also they will not be having, right? So if we know the brief knowledge of everything, it is well and good for our lifestyle. So only, like so many classes are running now, and we all here, right? So now we will know about the male reproductive system. So as in picture mentioned, the male reproductive system includes external organs, like in a body we can see is penis and scrotum, but internal organs which are present are testis, epididymis, vas deferens, semivesicle, prostate gland, and urethra. These all organs are will be included in male reproductive system. But how they work, we'll see. Testes, testes are nothing but, here you can see a testis. These are nothing but like our ovaries. Like how in our ovaries the egg will get matured, in testes their sperms will get matured or formed. After forming and maturation, they will be stored. Matured sperms will be stored in these epididymis, and store of mature sperms. Vas deferens. The vas deferens is transport of sperms. Like how our fallopian tubes will move over with to uterus, this vas deferens will move the matured sperm from the epididymis to the other part. And seminal vesicles produce seminal fluid. Actually, like for brief knowledge, if we say semen, we will think that sperms only semen, right? But it is not like that. The only sperm is produced in testes and it will be moved. But what these seminal vesicles are there, they will produce some fluid that is known as seminal fluid. That seminal fluid with this sperm is semen. Why we need this seminal fluid is, actually this whatever produced sperms are there, they can't move or they can't be alive without fluid. If they come without fluid out of the testes, they will die. So to keep them mature, this seminal fluid will keep the sperms in a live way. And to say the difference between the sperm and our ovum is, actually the ovum is non-movable one. It can't, our ovum, woman's ovum, girl's ovum is not movable one. Due to force of the fallopian tube, it will move to uterus. Due to force of the uterus layer there, it will move downward or it will shed. But whereas due to this fluid presence, our sperms, by including with the seminal fluid, the sperms are live one or movable one. Due to fluid, they will move by themselves without any supports. Prostate glands secretes fluid to protect sperm. As we discussed seminal fluid, this prostate glands will secrete the fluid whichever needed for the sperms to be alive. And urethra, pathway of urine and semen to exit the body. As we are seeing here, urethra, actually the urine will be passed in the same urethra. This is a urinary bladder, and sperm also will be passed through the same urethra, but the process is different. As we know, when this penis will get stimulated, at that time the sperm will come out, or else it is not, if it is not like stimulated, or if it is not gets hard, then only urine will be passed. And hormone regulation, as we saw in girls, we have estrogen to make the puberty changes. In same way, in males, we have testosterone. Testosterone hormone will be stimulated during puberty. Due to this increased, and due to that testosterone hormone, our pubertal changes will take place. And maybe what are pubertal changes? Maybe hair growth or mustaches growth or hoarseness of voice or increasing of height suddenly. These all are pubertal changes in males. So this testosterone will increase and pubertal changes will take place. And LH, as I mentioned, in female reproductive system, luteinizing hormone, it will mature the formed cells, that is sperm. And in follicular stimulating hormone is in the same way. When these sperms are formed in a testis, it will stimulate the cells to form a sperm, and this LH, luteinizing hormone, will make them mature. And what is the functioning of these hormones? Obviously, role in sperm production and sexual characteristics. And as we saw, the disorders commonly present in females, in same way in males also we have commonly present like diseases in a reproductive system, that is erectile dysfunction. As we know, if the penis is erected correctly, then only, as I mentioned, like if the penis is erected or becomes hard, at the time of that only these sperms will be released, right? In same way, if there is any dysfunction in erectile of this penis, then obviously the sperm will not come out and the fertilization will not take place, or conceive will not take place. Prostate cancer, as in women we have breast cancer, cervix cancer. In males even we have prostate cancer. And infertility, obviously due to erectile dysfunction, or nowadays due to sperm motility rate, reduced sperm motility rate, we are getting infertility. And next thing is testicular cancer. Even this is a common. Again, to maintain all this in a good way, what we have to do? We should regular exercises and balanced diet. Actually, maybe the production of sperms, or maybe the maturity of sperms, and especially the erectile dysfunctions will be due to low exercises in a body. If their body is regularly exercised in a good way, then actually the erecting, like penis erection will be correct, or this formation of motility rate of sperms will be correct. And avoid smoking and excessive alcohol. As I mentioned, sperms are very sensitive. In acidic form, they can't be present or they can't be active. So if the male is smoking more, or the male is having alcohols more, in such males, the motility rate of the sperms will be reduced. And again, due to avoid these all, the person should have regular medical checkups. So this was a brief knowledge about the male and female, both reproductive systems.